Hello my YouTube friends, thank you for joining me on another journey and another project. So hope you're all having a good day, a good night or a good afternoon or wherever you are in the world, because it's all different time shifts, isn't it? So let's just look at a project that I did on one of my other videos, was make these journal covers out of newspaper. So now I've decided for this one I'm going to put an insert, and the insert was going to be just plain dyed copy paper that I've done, handmade obviously, well not obviously but it is, and then I decided to print on it. Now I started off with just printing onto paper, A4 paper, some kits that I'm working on. And then I decided I didn't like it, despite that I don't know, the backs were plain white, so that's when I decided, so like this one which I've started reusing for something else, it was just plain white copy paper, and I thought, no, that doesn't work for me. So then I decided, okay, let's take the kit and print it on the pre-dyed copy paper that I've done. So the copy paper was like this to start off with, and now I've printed over the top of it. So that's what I'm working with now. And I thought, you know what, I might as well, as I'm working, get out there and get you lot to join in with me. So the next bit I want to do, now that I've created I've got 10 pages, which is for my one signature. It's just going to be one signature for one of these, because these aren't very thick covers as in the spine. In fact, there's no spine on them. So I've got 10 pages, and what I was doing before I came on camera was I was actually trying to pick out then some of the same images that I've printed on the paper as other images, either to sew onto some of the plain pages, and to do spots where I can put tuck spots and other things. So sort of going from plain now into the next phase, which I never plan. I never know what my next phase is going to be, except I do at this point, which is why I come on. So what I've decided to do before I cut out all my other bits and pieces, I'm going to sew around each page. That's what I'm going to do. So if you want to join along, then do so. Not as in join along as in sew with me, but just wanted to share this with you because, well, why wouldn't I? That would be a really ridiculous thing to do a journal without sharing it with my friends on how I've actually achieved it. So page 1, no rhyme no reason. I'm just going to stitch you around, and actually because this is the A4 paper, right, and I've got a margin on either side and at the top but not at the bottom, because I didn't want one at the bottom, I'm going to stitch just 3. I'm just going to stitch round the edge of the picture but not at the bottom. Good idea? So that's how I'm going to do it. I don't know whether, no rhyme no reason, actually, just because I can. So off we go. You might want to listen to some music while I'm doing this, because all you're going to hear is the machine. And if I can figure out how to speed it up, then I won't bore you too long with it. That's not speed the machine up, although I can, but speed the actual video up. I'll probably try and get some music in there if I know how to do that when I come to edit it. And yes, you could use fancy sewing, but no, I'm not going to. And the reason is because this little machine only does straight stitch. Having to help this through the machine because once you've coffee dyed paper or tea dyed paper, it goes a little bit thicker than normal, so it's not grabbing as well. I should have said them before I started. And off goes my sewing machine as well. We're all sliding across the all sliding across the table, I was going to say then. Okay, so I'm not going to tie, I will tie the edges off, but not literally. I think I've got a thingy on this one actually. No, you see I've put my scissors down somewhere. Bear with peeps. Just don't trip all over the wires. There we are. I'll tell you what, if health and safety could see my space right now, they'd have a field day with me. Good job that's not involved then. Right. Yeah. Okay, let's just get rid of that. So consequences over the likelihood that I'm going to trip over the wire. Yeah, 100% actually if I move. Anyway, so with the two ends, because I didn't do a backward and a forward bit, I'm just going to tie them up in a little knot. Well, it won't be a big knot, will it? Because it's the end of the paper. You know what I mean. 1 0. 2. There we go. And I'm just going to leave the ends because that's going to be great. And actually, no, there isn't. I was just thinking then, is there another way of actually doing... No, there isn't. Sorry, just thinking out loud there, my friends. You know, do you get that? Do you talk to yourself in order to get the answer? I'm sure many of you do. There we go. Might be a bit too long, so we'll just chop some of that off. So now I've stitched around my edge of that one and I'm happy with page 1. I actually like the fact that I'm only doing 3, just different because most times you do 4, don't you? So page number 2. We have a few pages. Now on this one, I've cut out one of the images that actually does transfer onto page number something or other, but not this one. And I thought because this one, although it's got an image on this side, sort of on as you would turn the book open, then you've got 2 journaling pages, which is great, but I wanted something here. And I don't actually want to sew it all on, but I am going to sew round it and then I'm going to stitch it to that when I stitch round that. So it's starting to get complicated and that's not what I planned for today. So again, you could just stitch around the edges and then come back and stitch, but I'm trying to minimalise the use. I don't know what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to make things less effortless for myself. And I'm talking to complete and utter gibberish right now. And twaddle. Talking twaddle. Right, okay. Let's just go around the edge of this image. No rhyme, no reason again, because I can. Where's my foot thing gone? Oh, that's not going to work. Oh, grr. Wasn't going to work then because I wasn't I thought I was talking rubbish again. Just ignore me for a moment while I waffle my way through that conversation. Is that I thought I was going to have to stop and do square, but I managed to sort of just roughly, you know, go around the edge. I don't particularly want it straight, or I'm going to tie that one to that one if I can. And you know what, this cotton seems either this cotton just seems so thin to stuff that I used to use, and I don't know whether that's me just being old, probably, or whether cotton has actually got thinner. But this just seems to, I don't know. Anyways, just going to leave that one there. And now I'm going to stitch that to the page when I go around the page, which is going to be there. And again, and again, you know, I could stitch straight down there after I've gone around the page. So I'm not going to do on the edge of this one, of the picture, because I've got to try and grab that at the same time. Oh, I might be able to. Oh, you know what? See, talking to myself really does work. Oh, mind your ears. I do need to stitch and then double stitch because I want to really grab that. And I don't want this to particularly on the edge. So, yeah, I think we'll do that. Stitch around the edge again. And then I'm going to just then stitch that one on. So I'll just do this one with you and then I'll go off camera and do all the other pages so you don't have to boringly watch me go around the edge. And not be able to talk to you at the same time, obviously, because all you can hear is the rattle of the sewing machine. Oh, I've lost my foot again. Oh, some of the kit you have to have, I tell you. Right, off we go. You know what would make this stop sliding? A piece of cotton, a piece of rag underneath. And I, again, don't have any to hand. Or a damp tea towel. Otherwise I'm sort of chasing it across the table. What's that about? I don't know. I'm going to have to put it on something. What have I got to hand? I haven't got anything to hand. Again. Ignore. That one. Let's get rid of that again. Oh, for goodness sake. Okay, so that's just my number. And that's what I'm going to do with all of these 10 pages. So, sit tight and I'll be back. Okay, so that's all that done. That took longer than I thought, really. So let's just, because I've done them all at the bottom, look. Because I did a 3, I just went up, across and down the other side, not across the bottom. So, and you could still do that if you wanted to, but I just didn't want any on the bottom. So now, I've gone around and stitched some of the pictures that match the actual background paper, and I've stitched some of those in as well. But not many, because I wanted to just take you through how we do that. So when you're doing your signature, go ahead and do everything at once, i.e. if you're going to do pages sewing, do all your pages and sew them all. Don't get distracted from anything else before you do pockets or ephemera or anything else. Just go and sew around all your pages. Then that job is out of the way. So basically you're working in a systematic format. Systematic format, is that right? You're working in a routine. That's not what I was going to say. That's not what not a routine. Oh, I can't remember. I don't know what. I know what I'm trying to say. So you're working systematically. That's the word. I think that's right. So I have put some pockets in, although just do your edges, then concentrate. If you're going to do pockets, then concentrate on pockets. So let's get that out of there. So pockets, you can go from anything as simple as a dictionary page, sewn around the edge, torn at the top, beautiful, to anything that you sew on the page. That could also then become a pocket using the same prints that you've already got throughout the actual journal. And some pages you might not want anything on. See here, there's definitely something got to happen on this page. So it could be a tuck spot, or I might do a little bit of a stamp on here. But let's just do looking through where we've got so far. So you've stitched all around your edges. So that's what your journal will then look like. Still a bit plain, but this is just the next stage. Again, don't think, oh, there's nothing on that. That's okay. So that's the first half. And this is second half, which again is just the same as it pretty much was before. This side's got an image, that side hasn't, because I haven't printed on it properly. Not properly. The images that I've done on the actual system weren't on both sides. Well, they are, because that's the other side at the beginning of the journal. And again, you could stitch round your images and use them. I've actually glued that one to make a little pocket. Otherwise, you can just leave them plain if you want to make sure there's lots and lots of journaling spots. But you're not going to get rid of those even if you put pockets and things on. All you're going to do is add to the space. So that 10 pages now is filled up again, is bulked up again, which is why you only, it's just a thin booklet becomes very thick when you coffee dye it, and then when you start printing on it. So yeah, so that's where we're up to now. So now we're on to pockets. And again, you can make pockets out of the same pictures. And I'm going to use these. Ooh, off we go, it's flying off. I'm going to use these ones I printed out earlier because I don't want to not use them as pockets and journaling spots and actual tags. Okay, so I've stitched around that one, and I'm going to cut a half one in there because that's actually going to be a pocket. I might take that down smaller. I don't know yet, but I like the fact that it's got French writing on it, that I can't speak French is why I'm not going to pronounce it. And I've done another one that, again, I've stitched round. And once you've stitched, or before you've stitched, you can actually tear your edges. You can sponge your edges. This, again, the fantastic vintage photo comes out, and off you go with. So again, if you do everything, do all your labels at the same time, do all your stamping, don't do it a page at a time, because you'll get lost in the whole. Well, you can do if you want to. Who am I to tell you what to do? I'm nobody. But what I'm saying is, if you do all of the same thing up front, then you're not likely to get lost in the process. So do all your tags, do all your tickets, do all your stamping at the same time. So now I'm on to making tags and pockets. So I am actually going to have that one. Be it that it's plain yucky white on the other side is pretty irrelevant to me, because I think I might stick that to a page. And in order to get my edge, you can't see that, off camera I licked that, and that now has given me a beautiful, well, it doesn't give you a clean edge, it gives you a cleanish edge, but it gives you a little bit of a ruffle. I want that a little bit bigger. I think I might actually have that as a tag and stick that onto card, because I kind of like it. So again, I'm just doing that. Lick the top. Oh, so disgusting, I know. And there. So I'm just going to cut that taggy top bit. I think I'm going to, you know what, I think I'm going to get my other scissors out, because they do make for nice edges. Hold that thought, I'll be back in a mo. Not that you'll know that I've even gone anywhere. So there's no rhyme or reason or way of doing anything, because it's your style. I think we'll have, I quite like those Arab Bazan ones. They made quite a good edge the other day. So again, this is on paper, but I am going to stick it onto cardstock actually before I cut. But what I was going to say is, there is no rhyme or reason. There's so many ways that you could do tags, tickets, you know, even that, with just that tag. So you can do it on card to make it stiffer. You can punch holes and actually make tags. You can emboss on them, you could put glitter on them, you could put words on them. So the world is your oyster, and you can just keep on going. There is no right, wrong, or any way, actually. It's whatever works for you guys. But don't be limited by your thinking, oh, I don't know what to do. Just do any, try it. If it doesn't work out for you, then try something else. I'm actually going to cut that one out. I'm just going to cut some of these images out to start off with, or I'm not, because I don't do cutting. But to get that straight, am I going to use all of that? I think I might. So again, don't waste your paper, and again, you could actually use these off prints, ones that went a bit wrong. It'd be so much more easier if I had a paintbrush next to me, which I don't. But to get, I'll just tear that off of there. To get, oh, what was I going to say? Give me a minute. I'm in a moment. Oh, can't remember. I'll come back to it. To get. See, that's what happens. To get. It started with to get. The sentence started with to get, and to get your. I don't know. I completely forgot what I was going to say. I really don't know. It's a bit odd, isn't it? Not for me. It's not. That's normal. Do you get moments like that? I call them senior moments. I call them over 50s moments. Right. Yeah, so you could stamp on it, you could whatever, you could do whatever on it, really. Oh, I've got it. It's come back, you see. Give it a moment, let it flow. Try not to remember, and then you will. So with these off prints that aren't off prints, they're still good for use. You could, because this is a normal printer paper, if I was to coffee dye over this, this would all run and make more beautiful paper. So I'm actually going to leave that one because it's a double-sided one. But this one that has printed out beautifully, but plain back, and I thought that's too white. I could have tea stained it after I'd done it, and I thought, no, I'm going to do it onto the actual coffee dyed. But I do like that whole page. So I'm going to make an envelope out of that one, and for that I am going to cut that bit off the edge. See, so again, tags, pockets, envelopes, no rhyme and reason. I don't even know why I'm cutting that, because I don't need to. And if you've got a lovely machine, then go ahead and use it. I have a template from this, and it's not going to be in the middle because I haven't got enough paper this side, but it'll work to a certain degree. So I am just going to squiggly do that over the other side. So I'm not going to get all my image on here. However, now I need a pen. Let's see. Ooh. Dear creative of the universe, could you give me a much bigger craft room, please? That would be great, wouldn't it? To have a lovely, just a purpose for just a craft room all on its own. No, nothing else going on in there. For those ladies and gentlemen that have got that, you are so blessed. For those of us that haven't, I'm still blessed to have a roof over my head. You see, I'm going to have a half image on that, but that's okay. So I'm just going to cut my little... Not very well cut. And again, you could cut these, these images, you see it comes, you can fussy cut them. I'm not a fussy cutter. I don't know whether you are. Do you like fussy cutting? I know there's one lady on this channel, I can't remember her name. She loves fussy cutting. And she just does the most amazing job of doing it. And again, if you do fussy cut, then you can layer your fussy cuts by putting those foam pads in between, and then you've got dimensions going on there. But this is actually starting the process from nothing, despite that I've got probably like you so much stuff in my drawers. It's bonkers. bonkers. Have you heard that? It is totally bonkers, and yet still I want to buy more. What's that about? It's a craft thing, I say. And that's what I say when people say to me, what, more stuff? You're buying more stuff. And I go, no, I'm not buying more. I'm just adding to the collection. Well, yes, I am buying more, but if there's a but, there's a problem. I am buying more, however. Okay, so there we have it. Doesn't matter with this particular style envelope which way is up. There is no which way is up. So I'll put the bits that I don't want in the middle. And they then touch, and then I fold them. We'll have, yeah, that little bit there. Put up a little bit more. Oh, haven't folded that very well. And she wears glasses, for goodness sake. What's that about? Wear glasses and I still can't see straight. Okay. There we have beautiful little one envelope. I haven't stuck it down yet, so it'll it's not. So I'm just going to take the lid off. Might help. Oh no, my glue stick won't roll. Okay, so glue stick. You could just put a smidgen on there, just to hold that to that one, and then this one to that one. Remember not to glue your bottom down, not your literal inside, because you won't get anything in there. You just have to glue your edges. And better than I've done it, actually. Oh, Lord. What is that about? Okay, there we go, peeps. So there's one little homemade envelope-y. Not that I have folded it at the top yet. How super cute is that? And then you could actually stick that on via that. You could stick it on via that side, but you wouldn't want to because that's so pretty. Or my next bit is that you could, again, go off on another tangent. You could paper clip it in, but not just a plain paper clip. You could decorate your paper clips. Another job for another day. So that's just another little idea of how to use some paper up, some scraps, and add to your ephemera bits. Or then let's just find another piece of paper. Actually, I quite like this one. We're going to do this one. I was going to make an envelope out of this little one here, but because I've done the print close to the edge, I'm going to get a white, and she's not going to be in the centre. Not that that bothers me. Might do another one actually. What do I need more of? Pockets or stuff to go in pockets. And you see, this is where I get to, I think, okay, do I need these on card? Do I need them on paper? What am I going to make? The tag? What am I going to make? Anyway, I could be here all afternoon deliberating, but basically we need to go off now and just do tags of any format, however you see your tags coming together. Because again, this process could take hours. You can really spend so much time on it. It is pretty bonkers, actually. And I think I'm going to see, I don't even know the answer to the question. I don't even know the question anymore. What am I going to do? I have no idea. Do you ever get that? You know, you think you're going somewhere and then you're just like, right, what was I doing? What am I doing, actually? What am I doing? No. Let's just take that off of there. Paintbrush, water, zip across the top, pull it off. Perfect. See, even that, you can't see this, but that has got script on in the background. It's very faint. But again, you could use that as a nice little journaling card. So much you can do, isn't there? And I think sometimes that can be overwhelming when you're crafting, because there's so much you can do. But don't be overwhelmed, just take a step back, and I think that'll be a journaling card. And see what you would like to achieve. What do I want to do with this beautiful girl? She's so pretty. I'm sure everybody's seen this image before. I can't remember where I got it from. It was off one of the free channels or Etsy. No, it wasn't off Etsy, it was off Pinterest. I don't think it was even off that. See, I'm just there in the whole wonderment of it all, saying, she's so pretty. I think I'll take her off of there and make her into a pocket, as you do. So you know, I could spend all night here with you guys and still just keep kind of adding and adding. Which is lovely, but at what point, you know, at what point do you stop? Because you can just, I don't think there's a thing that's over. I don't think you can finish the sentence in a minute. What was it, the end of the sentence? I don't think you can over-embellish or maybe you can. I don't really know. You know what, I'm just going to take that off there. So there's a little bit of tag on the bottom of that one. There we go. And so we've got some images there out of the so-called kit that's not a kit, my kit. I haven't done it for everybody else, and I don't want to glue. And now we're just going to vintage photo Uno edges, definitely of that envelope. So standard procedure. Most people know this, but most people have seen it so many times. But again, when you come to do your own journal, it's still like, really, what do I do? How do I do it? And even though you grasp and you watch a lot of videos, probably just as many as I do in a day, but then you still think, really? Some of you it might come supernatural, but to me, it's like my brain has to rethink. Okay, because there's so many things I want to still do, and there's so many different techniques I still want to try, because I've tried most of them, but they all run around in my head, and then I get overwhelmed with how many different styles I can do, and it's like that. There's so much going on in my little head. Not that I've got a little head, everybody has got the same amount of brain matter, we just all use it differently. So that one's that vintaged up, such a word. So you don't have to stitch around. So these I'm just showing you, I'm not stitching around, I'm just doing the whole vintage tea dye thingy look, aged look, and it's okay if it goes a little bit wonky or it goes a little bit creased, because we're okay with that. You know, it's and we try not to do super long videos. I don't know how you ladies make junk journals in, 30 seconds flat, because you must have just done all your other stuff beforehand. But there's some great videos out there, isn't there? Isn't YouTube just amazing? I'm just so grateful. Actually, we do want to put that up a little bit. And if you go over the area of your crumpled, then you pick up a little bit more of the dye. Right. And it's these bits actually that take the time. People don't, unless you make journals, it does. It takes an awful lot of time. But it's also great fun doing it and being with you, and I hope you're enjoying this tutorial. Is it a tutorial, or is it just I'm doing what I got to do but talking to you at the same time? Maybe you've learnt something. I doubt it, because there's nothing on here that isn't already on YouTube. Who knows? Okay, so there's some more. So you can go off and do yourself now some super duper tags. I'll tell you what I'm going to do with these. A couple of these actually I'm going to put oil on them. I'm going to baby oil them, except I don't have any baby oil, but I am going to do a mineral oil on them. So I'm going to scribble that one up a little bit more at the top. I want it to look a bit more old. Considering this girl's been going around and he's on everybody's Pinterest board and Facebook page, etc., she's looking pretty coolly young, don't you think? Wish I looked that young after, you know, spending so much time on the internet. Anyway, there we go. Just my sense of humour, guys. You're probably not going to get it, but I do. So there's some of my stuff that's going to go in without the stitching. Some of the stuff that is stitched, and an envelope that's not. So again, you can do whatever you choose. Well, your oyster, I'm going to come back again, probably with another part, because this one's going to, otherwise this video is just going to be yawny, so long it's going to be stupidly ridiculous. So I'll do a part 2 when I've decided what's next. Okay, so there we have it, my friends. I hope you've enjoyed being with me today. And I'm hopefully going to come up with some other ways, you know, cutting round your cards with your scissors makes a hole. Let me just do actually a sample of that. No, I've got my, we'll do it off this one, because I'm not going to use this image. Well, not that one, because I've got one on the other side of that. This one. Say for instance, that was a beautiful torn edge. But say if you didn't want that bit, just cut up the side with wonky, I'm going to call them wonky scissors. Wonky scissors, and across the top with wonky scissors, and down the side with wonky scissors. And you have yourself a nice tag edge that's hopefully straight. But again, you could still use that. Write a message or a sentiment on there, or get it a little bit more square, because that's so not. And again, it makes the difference when you have these edges rather than straight edges that sometimes can be so boring. Actually, I am going to use that one. We're going to edge that up. I'm going to cut it a bit straighter if I can. Now I've got that, because it so isn't. Is it? I don't know. Anyway, that was just another little idea that came to me then. Edges, harder to do these edges because they are, as I say, not straight, obviously, because they're. And I got this set. I think there was about 20. There's a whole bucket load in there. For about $2.99, $3.99 at B&M. Obviously in the States you won't get that, but you guys, you don't need anything that we have, because you've got Joann's, and you're so blessed, honestly, in terms of your crafting and stores. We're getting better in this country, but we're not brilliant. So again, to add and enhance on these, you could punch a hole in. If it was card, punch a hole in, put a ribbon in. So still loads to do. Stop waffling, I will now, promise. Namaste and have a great evening, day, and thank you for joining me, and we'll catch up again soon. Bye.